Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Sandy. That would be Sandy Kreisberg. I'm John Byrne with Poets and
Shalom,
Quants.
adios,
And there
hello.
is Sandy in Boston. He's the founder of HBSguru.com and probably the greatest reader of tea leaves in admissions at Harvard Business School than any other living human being on the planet. So we have a senior at a terrific school, University of Chicago, who's aiming for a variety of deferred admit programs. On her list is Wharton, potentially Lauder, Stanford, Booth, Columbia, Kellogg, and Harvard. At Chicago, she is an econ major with a specialization in business. Her GPA is 3.5. That's put her on a dean's list for 3 years in a row. Her practice GRE score after 2 weeks of practice, 313. And she did an internship at Citi last summer. I think she has a full-time offer to go to Citi. She had worked in sales and trading for them. And there's a lot of other really interesting pieces about her profile, and we'll get into them in our analysis.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Lily, welcome.
Hi, Lily. Okay, let me, what we got here is a University of Chicago 2+2 applicant. 2+2 at Harvard is very, very hard, very selective. It's, I think, also hard at your other schools, but less so. Well, except for Stanford, of course. At Kellogg and Columbia and Booth, it's less selective, but still mighty hard. We got a 3.5 at the University of Chicago, which is known for tough grading. You're on the dean's list, so we're going to call that good.
And after all, Chicago's the place where it famously fun goes to die. Isn't that right, Lily?
Unfortunately, yes. It's our famous motto.
Let's not slam the school. Fun may go to die, but business school admissions offices respect it.
Oh, they love it because it's very rigorous and hard. Yeah.
Okay, so for the standardized test score for 2+2 programs, you really need over 700, over near 730. They're just really select. So this is my advice to you and other people. Citibank is a good, what you're going to be is for the next 2 years, you're going to be like a banker, just like all those people who graduate going into investment banking. That's just going to be your gig at Citibank, right?
Yes.
Okay. 2+2 programs, I'm just giving you the bad news. 2+2 programs tend to favor people with a STEM background, science background. Your background is very common. It's, kids interested in finance. So that'll do you well for your life, for your career, for when you apply to business school for real. But that's not a leg up in the 2+2 pool, even though they take kids from finance.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
So say I apply my senior year and I don't get in. Will the fact that I got rejected now harm my chances 2 years down the line when I reapply?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe everything these schools say. And the schools would say definitely no. This is a rare case where I might believe them.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, having spoken at length with the head of the 2+2 program at Harvard, I feel pretty confident that it's not held against you, and it may even be held in your favor because at such an earlier age, even before
you're a
full-time work
gung-hoer,
experience,
right? Yeah,
you knew what you wanted already, and you knew that it was Harvard, and they'll love that.
Okay, you were I just want to make this point. You were a sales and trading intern at Citibank, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, John. What do business schools think of sales and trading?
Well, I hate that they think that iBanking is more important than sales and trading.
But they do.
But they do.
Okay. Well, it's a fact. Sales and trading is not considered, for whatever reasons, as select as regular investment banking.
Then investment banking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
Citi is a great brand. Chicago is a great brand. And we didn't mention this Goldman Sachs summit that Lily participated in, where she won first place in a competition with 12 groups.
okay, tell us about that, Lily. What was that? This was the
Yeah,
Goldman
absolutely.
Sachs what?
Yes, so we were accepted into this diversity program, and they flew a bunch of us out to the headquarters in New York City. And over the 3 days, given that we're second years in college, we're just learning about the financial services industry. They gave us a bunch of information, and then on the last day, they asked us to compile presentations, kind of linking all the different programs and sectors together. And we created this analogy, a little specific, but created the analogy of the financial services market to the human body. So for example,
Okay,
investment.
blah, blah, blah. We got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't mean to
Okay.
cut you off.
No.
John,
I think the key elements are.
what does that get you in a 2+2 application?
I
She's
think
selected for the Goldman Sachs Women's Diversity.
Yeah, Women's Diversity Conference and Goldman Sachs. Those are, I think, they're golden words or phrases to put in your application or resume.
Yeah, I don't think they cut a lot of mustard in getting you into a 2+2 program.
No, they sprinkle a little pixie dust on your application.
There you go. Okay, so we got a 3.52 standardized testing unknown, but my advice is to get it near 700 for sure. Okay, drum roll, please. Is there anything else powerful that we missed?
Yes.
Lily?
It looks like Lily has a fair amount of like international exposure in her story. She was born in Bulgaria. She spent nearly 3 months teaching English in Peru. She's been on a tech track to Tel Aviv in Israel. She's been on a consulting track to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And I think that's an important part of your story.
Yeah, Lily, okay, package that. How does that fit in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it helps me because I really do value like internationalism and gaining different perspectives. I don't ever want to limit myself to a certain.
I don't care about that. How does that fit in with your goals?
It gives me
the only way the schools care. Otherwise, it's just travelogue stuff for them.
Okay.
John, am I wrong?
I think that's right, but how it would say, you could say it this way. Look, you want to join a program that's incredibly diverse, with a mix of cultures and people and backgrounds, because in your limited experience in traveling over the world and living in different parts of the world.
Boy, I'm going to cut you off,
difference
John.
to you.
Hey, Lily, answer this. This is an important question. This is an important question for you and everyone. You've got to be able to answer this question. Whose job do you want in 25 years or 20 years?
Hopefully the top C-suite of a company or CEO potentially. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, right.
You know that the new CEO of Citi is going to be a woman?
Oh, yes. She talked to us last year. That's for one of the people that, because I know, Sandy, you ask, who is your role model? She's one of them, because she talked to all of us interns last year.
You want to stay in financial services?
I want to see how the next 2 years go. If I like it, I would use the MBA to go back. But if I don't, I would be interested in pivoting to potentially consulting or PE, VC.
All right, that's realistic. That's truthful. For purposes of this little exercise, the exercise being applying to business school, you really need a goal statement.
Okay. I think I could also
John, we're playing bad cop turning to good cop here. John, am I wrong?
Yeah, I think that's good. But, your question answered is, I want to be the next Jane Fraser at Citi. And just simple as that. Why? Well, when I met her in the internship program, blah, blah, blah.
No, if you know this woman, if this woman is the new CEO of Citi, that's a super big deal. You're
Mhm.
interested
It
in
is. It's the
finance.
first female ever to run city, big time.
You've got to
That's
present
big.
yourself as someone being interested in finance and banking and heading, management of a financial institution. So she's a role model, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to expand the footprint of the bank, aid diversity, have impactful relationships, help development, international development, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that for purposes of applying, that's got to be your shtick.
Absolutely.
I take it you know what a shtick is since you've been to Israel.
Yes.
And it's perfect that she spoke to your internship group and she's just assuming this role. This is a big development in business because she will be the highest ranking female ever in the finance industry, period.
Mhm.
Okay, drum roll here.
Big deal. It's a big deal. And you
Drum
actually
roll
met her.
meaning we're about to do what
Oh yeah.
we're advertising.
What are the odds? What are the odds, baby?
Oh, I do have one thing to add really quickly.
Sure,
So
yeah. No.
regarding my recommendations, so one of them is the HBS alum, McBain alum. She supervised my second year internship. And then the other recommender is an econ professor in a class that I did not do well in and actually lowered my GPA quite a bit.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I noticed that. Tell the people who your second recommender is.
My econ professor. So
Yeah, you for your second recommender, you've chosen an econ professor who is a person who you had as a professor in a class you did not do well in, and he is going to say that you're a hard worker and you're not a quitter.
yes.
What else is he going to say?
Well, she knows me very well. I attended every
Sorry,
single.
what else is she going to say?
No. She will also say that I persevere. So I could have actually dropped out of the class and gone to a lower standard within the econ major, but I ended up taking the class fully through.
Okay, John, what am I thinking here?
Sandy always looks for people who are going to say the most positive thing. Sandy would want your professor to say, in all of the years that I've been teaching, I've never seen
I would not go with a recommender like her. We don't want a recommender that says you work hard and try a lot. Okay, that's kind of assumed. Either you retool what she says based on how she knows you, or you get who else could you use as a recommender generically?
Yeah, so for my extracurriculars, I ran 2 different recruitment cycles and for one of my clubs, and I have never tried so hard in a club. She knows me extremely well, but she isn't necessarily a professor or
that's not going to work. Yeah, what I would do is reprogram the econ professor and have her say that you're impactful. You don't mention the academic stuff. Just say that you're impactful. She knows you well. She's seen you're a leader. You've had these outcomes. That's the way I would run it.
Okay.
I mean, and the other thing I know Sandy has mentioned many times before, what can she imagine that you will emerge someday as a future leader in whatever industry you choose? If she can, it would be worth her
recommender could
saying.
say that. That's good too. Yeah. I've known people. She's one. I've known X number of people. She is very impressive as a future leader. I foresee her as being an impactful woman leader possibly in finance, and she also has interests in other areas. And then she's got to tell powerful stories that illustrate that. That's how she fits in this application. Okay, I don't think you're getting into Harvard. 2 + 2 is very hard. Your grades are probably a little low. From what it looks like, the standardized testing is going to be below average. So then the question is, well, if your grades are low and the standardized testing is below average, what do you bring to the table? What's the answer to that? What's your dowry, in other words?
Internationalism, leader in the field.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong, it's all good. It's just not going to be enough.
Okay.
I predict. I think your chances of getting into Harvard are 20% low.
Mhm.
Okay. What other schools are you interested in?
Yeah, so I'm also going to be applying to Wharton Chicago Booth, which is, I think, the theater program from UChicago undergrads.
Okay, I think Wharton is going to be hard. Wharton thinks the same way Harvard does, and in many ways will blame you more for having below average stats. Correct,
Also,
Uncle Byrne?
Yeah, I mean, Wharton's more hung up on stats. I would say this, and I'll say this to everyone out there. When we don't think your odds are all that great, we shouldn't dissuade you from applying because you never know what can happen. There could be that they want a woman in finance. In
Who's
the
very interested
they
in
don't have any.
internationalism, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So there's in these elite MBA admissions, the odds are always against you to begin with, and a lot of the decisions are made. Yes, you're competing against other people in the same bucket that you're in, but the overall pool and the mix of it has something to do with the decision as well.
Good. What other? What's your next school, Lily?
Well, I think Chicago Booth is a really good choice. They're going to love that you come from Chicago. Kellogg is another one of your choices. They're going to love that.
Kellogg's your best chance. Kellogg is the school that's going to give the most credit to the non-GPA, GMAT part of your application, and that's strong. Kellogg is going to give a lot of credit to your work with Goldman Sachs, other things you've done on your resume. So Kellogg is this Beacon Fellowship that you had. Kellogg's your best chance. I think your chances of getting into Kellogg 2+2, yeah, that gets up, but it's still hard. I think your chances even there are like 30%.
I'm also thinking of Stanford and Columbia. So 6 total programs.
Yeah, Stanford, they're too demanding. It's very tiny. They go for big numbers. It's the same analysis as Harvard. Stanford is even harder. Columbia, I don't know. They're kind of hung up on the schools that are. Yeah, here's the question for John Osage. Schools that are least hung up on stats. M7 schools listed in order of how little they care about stats, John.
Oh man, that's hard. Wow.
Yeah, but Kellogg would be
I put Harvard. I bet you Harvard cares the least.
No, Kellogg cares the least.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. Only because I look at the average GMAT score at Kellogg and the improvement in the last 5 years. I think Lily, one of the things I might consider doing is I might say, hey, maybe I wouldn't waste my time applying to Stanford. I'd still go for Harvard, but because Stanford accepts so few people and the stats got to be through the roof, I might replace Stanford with like a UVA Darden. Darden has a deferred admission program. Darden is spectacular. Darden would get you everything you want. You'd love the place, given what little I know about you and your personality. And I think they should be on your list, and I would take Stanford off.
Excellent advice.
Give yourself a little more range in these schools. And you'd really be happy there. That's the other thing. I mean, to me,
okay, this is just esoteric as we sign off here. The deep reason for the 2+2 program is that it gives you freedom to do things in those 2 years that you might not otherwise do because you're certain you're going to business school. You've been admitted. So you can theoretically do anything those 2 years. You could write poetry. You could, quit your job at Citi and, become a potter or start a nonprofit. So they often ask in an interview, how are you going to take advantage of the freedom that a guaranteed admission into the 2+2 program offers you. What's your answer to that?
Well, I would be going to the 2-year program at Citi, so not necessarily. Just learning about the financial services and the markets.
So here's what I would say. I plan to spend 2 years at Citi and learn all that I can about the financial services industry. And then because I was accepted, I might explore another interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
You
interest
might
could
explore
be
another interest,
consulting,
or
could be consulting, tech, maybe even management in
yeah, or
early
sniff
childhood
around other
education.
parts of the bank. Right.
Yeah.
Lily, what you did was a very damaging answer. You said, I give up. That doesn't apply to me. I'm just gonna, I've been accepted to this program. I'm just gonna go. So like it or lump it.
Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna squeeze every ounce
Yeah.
of learning out of those 2 years at Citi, and then I'm gonna look at what other options might be in front of me before I go to Harvard.
Right.
Good.
And I'm gonna be free to do that, knowing that I have an acceptance in my pocket.
Right. Yeah. John is very good at this. Right. Or you might organize a trek at Citi to Tel Aviv and Dubai.
There you go.
I wanted to ask about that because there is the chance that I might want to pivot to like smaller companies, entrepreneurship, starting my own business. Do you think I should emphasize that experience in my application? Because it really was very impactful to see and travel and see these companies.
You need, as I told you before, your shtick isn't together. You need to know what job you want in 30 years or 25 years. You need a role model, and then you have to go backwards and fill in the golden brick road
to get there.
That's the way it works.
It
And
really
look,
just is about crafting your story and making.
Yeah, with the emphasis on craft, not you know. What did Dr. Johnson say? No man is upon oath in a lapidary inscription. Do you know what that means?
I have no idea.
That means what you say about someone after they're dead, you're not under oath.
Oh, okay.
What you put on their grave, you know, beloved grandfather, and you know, you are not upon oath in a lapidary inscription. You're not upon oath in a business school application either.
But you know, the seed of what you said is your answer to the previous question, which is after learning all that I can at Citi in 2 years, I might want to explore my own startup. Period.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, and the deferred admission programs affords me that opportunity. Yeah, that's all. All right. Well, Lily, good luck to you. Scratch Stanford, apply to Darden, deferred admission. And you might even look at one more, you know, program just to give yourself a deeper portfolio of schools to choose from. And then you decide, hey, if you don't get into where you really want to go and you don't think the schools that accept you are going to be good for you, then you punt. You go to Citi, you work your 2 years, figure it all out, and you reapply later on. That's all. So.
Thank you both so much. I really appreciate your time and very much enjoy your program. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Hey, good luck. All right. Hey, this is John Bird with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching Fridays with Sandy.